Is that it? Is that all? Is it time? I think it's this button. Normally that button, right? That. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Can we try that again? Holy smokes.
Sinclair enough 0 are just resubscribed for 63 months.
63 months. Thank you so much. Hang on, I'm trying to
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is October 17th, 2024, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? My goodness. There's our friend Sinclairinator. Hello. Welcome in. I've been trying to get some things set up and configured here, and I'm woefully behind. But let me greet you, the chat room. They're right over there. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Let me say hello to everybody. Null Sheffa with a big wave. Hello, hello to Napalm Codes. Robert Steffen. Hello to you on the other side. Good to see you. Is the bot? Nah, I don't think the bot is sending messages quite back. Oh no, it is. It is. C# Titan, good evening to you in Melbourne. Warm Peas with a big hello. Can come and join me. You have cookies, no consent needed. Oh, cookies. Wow. Okay. C# Titan with a big message there. Wanted to say thank you for showing .NET can be developed on any operating system using tools other than Visual Studio. Spoken to folks who say that .NET is only for Windows and you need Visual Studio. All of that, not true. You can build with .NET anywhere. It's all the places you want to be. It sounds like a credit card. Much respect to me for all the showcasing. Thank you so much, C# Titan. On YouTube, you says hi. Hello. Sinclairinator with the big resub there. Thank you so much. Tool Atelier. Oh my goodness. Tool Terralus. I hope I got that right. Hello to you. Yes, God, not a problem. Happy to help out there. Yeah, I've been trying. So I talked about putting a couple of extra sound effects into things. And I've downloaded them. I've put a copy out here on, there they are. Yeah, there they are. Now I don't remember which one there is. Oh well. Tool is fine. All right, we'll work with that. How are you doing, friends? I'm getting some audio set up. I want to dive back in, do some more work on SharpSite, the CMS, the content management system that we've started building slowly here on stream. Something that is going to take a lot of inspiration from WordPress, but all be built with Blazor, so that we've got a lot of flexibility in what we can do with it, in what we want to do with it, including, because we have friends that built things like Peach Pie, including potentially being able to bring in and use some PHP code in rolling out those features. Transmex, thank you for the follow. So I had 4 sound effects I was getting loaded in here. And let me see, does that one work?
Silence! I kill you!
Yeah, that works. Let me see. There was another one here that I wanted to make sure I had, right? Because if there's nothing that I don't do, it's stupid sound effects. Well, and then we'll get back into writing code, and we'll be working on Linux. This one is it doesn't matter what you think. Yeah, and I think you might be able to pick up what this sound effect is. Right? It's something that I do say every now and again, and I think is fun. But I've got to move these out to cheers, so that folks can cheer and trigger some of these sound effects.
It doesn't matter what you think!
Yeah, there's that. Right, make that even louder.
It doesn't matter what you think!
Even go louder.
It doesn't matter what you think!
Ah, there we go. I think same thing with the silence. Let's push that up.
Silence! I kill you!
Yeah, there we go. All right. Stupid sound effects. It's part of the game here. Will we be adding AI and custom vision to the CMS? That is so far out. If as we start building features, if somebody wants to take that as an extension they want to build, I wouldn't say no. Jeff Fafa? You mean
Jeff Fafa?
him? Heck Raider, hello. How are you? I'm doing quite well today. I've got my Camp Crystal Lake hat on, right? Of course. No, it's not from that. That's not the right sound effect. It's a different movie. And I think we are on. Are we? We're on. Yeah, we are scheduled to be on for Halloween. So we might have to do something for Halloween. Might have to do something stupid. Properly stupid for Halloween, right? And that's the bottom line because Fritz said so. Damn straight. Paulusar, hello. Good to see you. Napalm Codes chiming in there. Keep your company while you configure multi-environment key vaults. Ooh. Got all the end thens. That's right, Frank. How you doing? Great to see you. Mythin, hello. Oh yeah, Halloween. We could definitely get into some trouble, right? I mean, there's so many things for us to consider for Halloween, and it could be bad. Okay. Let me get some music playing in the background instead of stupid sound effects. Let's go. I want to go with the EDM playlist because I want to burn through some of this stuff and get things built and that first pull request sent in for SharpSite so that we can start talking about actually adding some real features here beyond just the basics of, hey, we need to write posts to a database. We had some great conversations over the last few streams. No doubt. Not going to argue with that one bit. Absolutely loved and enjoyed those. But we need to get something done. We need to be productive. So let's start here. This is called Sugar Trolling. Do we need a little bit more? This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Big thanks to Harris Heller and the team at streambeats.com for making this music and other music that we're going to be listening to today. They have all kinds of genres available there. Check it out. You're going to enjoy it. JW Fergus with a more general .NET ecosystem question. Okay, no problem. Let's take a look at this. I develop ETL data movement code full-time using SQL Server integration services. Nice. Outside of proprietary tools, the ETL world is dominated by Python. Anyone know if .NET will start breaking into ETL? That's not up to us. The tools are out there. Python's an interpreted language. Makes it easy to kind of just write it into a file somewhere and it gets interpreted and picked up and carried along. That's not up to me. Right? What makes .NET compelling is that you have statically typed languages that you have to compile and then deploy. And when you're doing something like ETL, you probably want a little bit more freedom to change your script along the way because you have to patch and update things and rerun loads into a system. Because let me tell you something, JW Fergus, when 2003, 2004, I was working for a subsidiary of Merck Pharmaceuticals. And that was all that I did for them was ETL operations. But we had an Oracle database we were using. So they wanted us to write ETL operations. We weren't allowed to buy a tool. There are all kinds of tools out there that do this very, very well. And this was before SQL Server integration services was available. But we weren't allowed to buy a tool. Now, go write a VB6 desktop application so that we can give it to somebody who works in operations and they can push a button on a scheduled basis. So we literally wrote a tool in VB6. And we wrote a scripting language using JSON. That could, was it JSON or XML? That could be used to load into the tool. Here's the configuration of how to run and load these things. So where the company was saying, oh, it's going to take us 2 weeks to set up so that we can do those data load processes. I think it was XML, yeah. Where it takes it'll take us 2 weeks to set up and be ready for those data load processes. I took the 2 weeks for the first one of those and built the initial version of the tool. Each additional 2 weeks that I was allocated, I added new features to the tool, so that finally, about 2-3 months later, it took me an hour to configure this thing. The manager comes back to me and says, "You're billable for the other 2 weeks." I said, "Okay, fine. Can you tell you what? Don't bill for the 2 weeks. Bill for a week. Look at all that margin you just made, and I can go build and make this thing better and make it even easier. We can put user interface and scripting and all kinds of stuff in front of it." Well, what about the person who needs to go and run the tool? I got you. I'll put a scheduler in front of it. And I built a scheduler. Well, what are they going to do? I don't know. Figure out something else for them to bill for. I just saved you a ton of time. It's doable with .NET. It's a question of how flexible you need to be in scripting and restarting and rerunning. And that's where a dynamic language that's a little bit more like scripting interpolated, like Python, is going to do better in that. The fact that it's dynamic helps with that type of thing when you really are going to fight with that. When it is .NET going to become a compelling, better resource in that space? Because it's compiled, I don't think it will. No. Some unsafe programming in C#. No. Hey, Jeremy Knight, do I have an example of a .NET Blazor web app template with working HTTP client calls from WebAssembly? Sure do. Even the sample I downloaded from Microsoft Docs is reverting back to server implementation. No. Take a look at TagsApp. It does a lot of that. From WebAssembly. There's a lot going on inside of TagsApp, so I'm going to warn you now. And we are getting TagsApp ready to go for .NET Conf, all right? We are under 4 weeks to .NET Conf. Think about that, man. 26 days to .NET Conf. We're getting things tested and ready to go, and we're going to be running TagsApp, an application that we built live here on this stream to capture Twitch chat messages, YouTube chat messages, Twitter or X tweets, Mastodon messages, Ed messages typed in to a custom text box that's embedded on the .NET Conf website to take messages from viewers. So that's one thing. An example of the .NET 8 web app template. Take a look at... Oh, you want to do it from WebAssembly. I was going to say, take a look at the .NET Aspire template. I don't want to pivot and do a custom demo for that right now, Jeremy. There is stuff in TagsApp that does that I would point you to. Drop me a line on Discord later, and if you need more help, I can walk you through it. But that's definitely something that we should have some solid demos that demonstrate. So, Mythin with a question: do I happen to know a thing or two about Aspire? Do I happen to know a thing or two about Aspire? Are you kidding me? My Aspire hat is downstairs on the kitchen table. But yes. I can't figure out where the Azure Pipeline Client ID environment variable comes from or how to create it myself. The Azure Pipeline Client ID environment. Okay, so that's not .NET Aspire. That's deploying. That's AZD that you're using to configure how .NET Aspire gets deployed. That sounds like it gets keyed in when you run the tool to do the deployment. I don't know off the top of my head with Azure Pipelines. I don't use Azure Pipelines. Let me take that as a line item to follow up on. Azure Pipeline Client ID with .NET Aspire deployment. And that's for Mythin. Drop me a line on Discord, and I will follow up with you on that after. So, yeah, that was DTS era. And they were simpler times. There were no bad ideas. There were no bad ideas because there was nobody on social media to tell you were an idiot. Like, right? How many times do you go out and write a blog post or something? Hey, check out, oh my gosh, look what I figured out. This was a great idea for me and it solved a problem. And sure enough, there's some other developer that goes, you're an idiot. You should be using tabs instead of spaces or something like that. Like, come on. You took VB in college way back in the 1900s, Harrison. I had a similar experience. Yeah, I did replace a person with a tiny shell script. That's right, RJ. Yep. Started your career with VB and Visual C++. Respect there, C# Titan. That's awesome. I want to make sure, am I getting all the message? Yes, I am. Okay. Plop Plippity Plop Yo on YouTube. Big .NET fan here. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. The C# landscape for CMS since I last checked were pretty bleak. Yes. Despite being a .NET dev for over 15 years, we picked WordPress. No doubt. I run WordPress for my blog too. And quite frankly, the things that are out there like Orchard and Umbraco, they're fine tools. Octane, right? Fine tools. Nothing wrong with them at all. It's an opportunity for us to learn a little bit, for us to build something that could be interesting. Build it very open source, similar model to what the WordPress folks did, and let's try to make it as easy to use as WordPress, but taking advantage of all the latest Blazor and .NET 9 in this case features, so that it runs fast, it runs small, it runs in a container, and importantly, and this is important, chat, listen up, all right? I want to make sure that non-technical folks can run it. Okay? So that means that if somebody goes and sets up a container for them that's running this on choose your favorite hosting platform, somebody can log in, configure, and run it easily. That's important. That's very important when we talk about something like this. So, plop plippity plop yo. I can't believe I just said plop plippity plop yo. I'm way on board with you. I cannot agree more. C# Titan can't wait for .NET Conf. It's going to be awesome. Yes, it is. The schedule is available for .NET Conf. .NET Conf is our free online event, okay? November 12, 13, and 14. And can I tell you something, chat? .NET Conf is 5 days this year. 5. We have an education day that's going to help you with some career decisions and career planning if you're early in your career. That's going to be on Monday, the 11th. Tuesday, the 12th, we start off with the announcements and Microsoft folks from the .NET team teaching all about what's new in .NET 9. And we've got talks about .NET Aspire, about C#. The C# talks, what's new in C# are always amazing. They are, dare I say, they are a banger. Can I say that? I think I can say that. This is the internet. I can say that. New stuff about Blazor, new stuff about .NET MAUI. We've even got talks about the new stuff going on in WinForms and WPF. Even WinUI is in there too. Day 2, we're going to talk about Azure and some of the other cool places that you can integrate and take your .NET skills to. We've got all kinds of folks from Microsoft, from GitHub, that are going to help out and share some of those cool places that you can take your .NET knowledge to. But at the end of day 2, at 5 p.m. Pacific on day 2, that's where you take over. We've got community talks 24 hours straight, going right through till 5 p.m. Pacific the next day. Folks from all over the world. We've got folks in Australia. We got folks in India. We got folks in Asia, folks in Europe. I think there's even a couple folks in South America that are speaking this year that are going to be talking about all the cool things that they're doing with .NET. Finally, on Friday, after you're done with hearing all the cool community stuff, on Friday, we've got a bunch of pre-recorded sessions that are going to be YouTube premieres that you're going to be able to catch as a bonus day. Live on YouTube, we'll have folks hanging around that can answer questions, but it's all YouTube premieres, content that was pre-recorded that just in case there was a problem with any of the live sessions, we're going to follow up and we're going to publish live on Friday. 5 days of .NET content. 5 days announcing all the cool stuff about .NET 9 and the great stuff that we can do as .NET developers. All right, I hope you join me. It starts on November 11th. The live event starts November 12th. It's going to be a great week. I'll be in Seattle that week helping to produce, host, and present. All right, so make sure you tune in for that. I'm very proud of this. I've been working literally for the last 6 months on this event. Okay, so I hope you join us. Prime subs are just plain weird when you went to resub. Facts, Codebase Alpha. Let me get through some more of the questions here. You really hope this year's .NET Conf is more than just AI? Palisar, I'm with you. I'm with you, okay? If you've watched these streams, you know that I'm a firm believer that AI isn't everything. Right now, it's a bit of a fad. Witano, thank you for the follow. Right now, it's a bit of a fad. It's a bit of a land rush. Hey, let's go claim as much AI features and capabilities as possible and make it easier for folks to use AI with our tool set. It is. No doubt. You can take a look at the agenda, okay? There's AI content in there, but there's a whole lot more than AI in there as well, okay? It definitely has a presence, no doubt. But we got you covered. It's a lot more than just AI, okay? So I absolutely agree with you. Nothing against me. Cool, thank you. I don't take any criticism at all. I want to make sure that you know I feel the same way, and it's important to me that we have balanced amount of content. At other events that I don't organize, they over-pivoted on some topics. And that feedback was heard. That's not me saying that. That's feedback that was heard. Fine. So, have the dog get my other hat. John on YouTube.
Just resubscribed for 6 months. Yay.
Thank you for the resub. Much appreciated. Mython doesn't use Azure pipelines either. Use GitHub Actions. AZD automatically adds it to the environment variables in env config. Okay, that's weird. That's so obvious. How did you not know that? Saw someone say that when somebody realized URLs work a bit like paths. Oh, bad tool, you're right. Eddie, welcome. Good morning. Sinclair Nader with a big applause there. Thank you so much. On YouTube, is it Ninjals? Perhaps tacking on flexible ETL behavior onto an existing .NET app would be possible use case for sea snakes. Ooh. I like what you're thinking. That's interesting. Okay. You're onto something. Jeremy switched off of WordPress like 2 years ago. Couldn't be happier with static site generator. But I definitely get that. Non-techies probably don't want to post through a PR. MHJSX, welcome. Hello. Non-technical folks really like that the rich text editor on a screen. They do. I like some of the ideas of being able to dictate into that box, and that's kind of supported by your browser. That's kind of a browser thing more than it is a tool inside the web application. I think there's opportunities to enable static site generation with SharpSite. I think that's absolutely a possibility we can consider as we get through and get some of the basic things built. And I'll leave it there. I'm too old? No, live coding, I'm not too old. I just happen to have a funny colored beard. And I haven't done a rainbow beard in a while. I do have... I haven't lined up guests just because it's kind of crazy for for me getting ready for .NET Conf. But I do have guests that I promised and I will have scheduled to join us on stream. It probably will be in December, but Carl Franklin, Richard Campbell, Scott Hanselman will be on the stream at some point here before the end of the year. So I need to talk more with them about it, but they've all at one point or another agreed to join me. We just have to get scheduling done. Is Visual Basic still being developed, or is C# the focus these days? Asks C# Titan. So there have been blog posts about this. Visual Basic still gets development. The programming language does get development. What folks like about Visual Basic is that it doesn't get as quickly the updates as C#. C# is the dominant .NET language, and it gets annual updates. The infrequent updates to Visual Basic is what our customers have asked for and heard, and we've heard that message. This is what's in the blog post. You can go reference it. And for those folks who want a stable, less frequently changing language, Visual Basic supports that. That's the model of development that they decided to move forward with. Sinclair Nader says .NET 9 is going to be amazing to see once it's GA, because it runs even better on ARM. Just wait until .NET 9 upgrade to PowerToys comes out. Also, there's definitely the performance updates in .NET 9 are crazy. They are crazy. You're going to feel it, and I think that's kind of what you expect when you do upgrades to your development tool set. That your existing applications perform better on the new tool set, the new version, because it's been updated and there's performance improvements in there, right? Like if you updated an application from Java 10 to 11, right? I'm pulling numbers out of thin air. I know they're a much later version than that. You would expect that for the new version, your application would perform the same, if not better, right? Same deal. Will I be incorporating those new features from .NET Conf on stream? The new features from .NET Conf. I don't know what you mean. You'll be out for the next later. Hope to catch up later. I see what you did there, Robert Stefan. Thank you so much, Pulsar, again. Greetings and salutations. How you doing there, PC nerd? ASP.NET Core repo has a lot of open issues, which scares me. Is this normal? Mr. XQ, it is, because it's a massive framework, right? The ASP.NET Core repo is responsible for the Kestrel web server, the MVC user interface framework, Razor Pages framework, Web API capabilities, gRPC, Open API bindings and features, and Blazor. And Blazor has 4 different flavors too. So there's a ton that ASP.NET Core repo is responsible for. So there's a lot going on in there. So it's normal. And the team can only drag down and fix and do so much a year. So there's always folks that are asking for new features, new capabilities, and the team does their best to work through those as quickly as they can. Podasar asks, what is Microsoft Build? Microsoft Build is Microsoft's first-party developer show, typically held in the spring. The past few years, it's been held in late May, typically held at the Washington State Convention Center in downtown Seattle, Washington. Content's usually visible online. Some are broadcast live. Some are recorded and made available later. There's a seating capacity. There's an attendance capacity of about 4,000 or 5,000 people for that show, but it's an in-person tech conference where they're not teaching how to use different features, but they're more announcing and showing off and talking about new capabilities that will be coming in the next feature of whatever. So looking at the collection of content that's been shown at Microsoft Build in previous years, you'll see a lot of Azure content. Last year, you saw a lot of AI content. You'll see a lot of Power Apps content at the event. There's in the last few years we've had since pandemic, there's been maybe 2 or 3 .NET dedicated sessions at each show. So there's only about 70-80 sessions at all of Microsoft Build. It's a 3-day event, but over the past 2-3 years, since pandemic, so I guess 3 years, there's maybe 2 or 3 sessions about .NET at each show. So .NET Conf is dedicated to the .NET tools, languages, and ecosystem, built in and hosted and planned in coordination with the community, and it has more than 80 sessions. I think we've got almost 100 sessions now because we're on 5 days about all things .NET, including 48 sessions that are dedicated to the community. So that's a big thing for us. Bad Nintendo, hello. Building a better WordPress would mean you either are only building the back end, placing the junk word made to create those templates, or you're building the entire third-party junk template generator as well. I think we're going to enable those things and let other folks add those. So, and this is going to be a process. This is going to be a long series, and it's all open source because I want to enable you folks out there to participate, to see how it evolves, to help make some of those decisions, because I believe in the open source benevolent dictator model. Clearly, I'm the one that started it. I'm the one who's going to be making some of the decisions, but we're going to encourage and help other folks to contribute as much as possible. Hey, Land of the Leet, good to see you. Welcome back. Look at any massive project which is open source and tell me when you find one that doesn't have a bunch of issues opened. True. Totally. It's a question of how managing them, the duration that they stay out there. There comes a point where some of those issues get stale and they get closed as not going to be serviced. Because the project is managed by a large software development company, they don't like to be aggressive in closing issues as not going to be worked on. They'll take time after the release. I believe they'll take time after the release and go through, evaluate, and decide to close a bunch that are marked as not going to work on it. I'm going to take about 3 months of basic things developing to make that possible to start test. Maybe, Bad Nintendo. Maybe. Yeah. That might be a good time frame. Right, if we enable folks to build playwright tests to help automate test and verify that SharpSite works the way we want it to, it'll help accelerate some of that so that our development processes have that secondary check involved. Spring Boot, for example, has about 500 open issues, but .NET has over 3,000. .NET's a lot more than just a framework. So it's a lot more than that, and this is where, and this is why, and I'll share this secret. I'm not using the word .NET in the titles of my streams and YouTube videos right now. Take a look. I'm referring to C#. It's my belief that folks outside the .NET ecosystem don't know what .NET is. Like, they know what .NET is, but they don't know what it is. And it's right, it's folks that use the .NET tools and languages and frameworks know that .NET is all of those things. No other tool set out there has that same scope as .NET, right? .NET are languages, Visual Basic, F#, C#. It's compilers, debuggers, tools that plug into Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. User interface frameworks like WPF, Windows Forms, MAUI, ASP.NET, Blazor, MVC, Razor Pages. It's a whole package ecosystem with NuGet. So .NET, when you look across at other tools, if you look at Java, when you talk about Java, there isn't really a Java ecosystem. There's just Java. When you talk about Go, there isn't a Go ecosystem that has all those things. It's just Go or Rust. JavaScript has a package ecosystem, but it doesn't have a set of compilers and tools and things that wrap up and get delivered as part of when you work with these other languages, right? You download and use Rider or VI or some of these other tools out there, and that's an editor, but then you have to go and pull off the other things you want to plug in to enable it to do the things that you want for your ecosystem. So I'm experimenting with messaging here a little bit, and I'm pulling back on using the .NET term, and I'm encouraging just the language. We're going to do C#. We'll do Blazor. And I'm going to avoid using .NET for a little bit here, just to see what the reaction is. You're welcome to look at my viewership since I stopped using the term .NET, and you can tell me if you see a difference, because I sure do. You want to talk about new features in C# 13 and .NET 9? Yeah, .NET Conf's going to have a lot of that, C# Titan. Eddie, with a message that was held, has some Aspire reading today because the concepts of using it in CI/CD confuses. Just in regards to say I only update the API, does that deploy it all over again? Yes, it does. Yes. It does, and we're not going to deploy SharpSite, but we're definitely going to build some continuous integration that sits on top of the .NET Aspire framework that we're using with SharpSite. Love the conversation we're having today. Happy to continue discussing this. I do want to make sure we get to writing the code, though. Dank Goat says, I feel like Blazor should have had its own repo. The grain at which these projects participate in the .NET organization, GitHub organization, it is something that the team struggles with every year when they go and start planning for next versions of things. You're not wrong. It had a separate repo at one point, and it was decided to merge it in. So I'm with you, but there was a conscious decision made to merge it in from separate. I could even see it as a what is it? A sub-repository, a repository module, right? You know what I'm talking about? How you can nest repositories within each other. Even that would help organize a little bit. But folks that are in and working with this stuff every day, yeah, I thought it was sub-module. Yeah. Made that decision, and they had good reasons to it. I'm not questioning them one bit. But they decided not to use sub-modules. They decided to make it all one mono repo for ASP.NET Core. So, still Garf says, one thing I would like for Microsoft to do is give us a platform-independent graphical library. I know Avalonia exists, but I want something from Microsoft themselves. This is the struggle with being an open source framework and being an enterprise supporting software company. Because if Microsoft did that, it would kill a bunch of open source projects. Because folks would pivot and not want to use those. So, does Microsoft support open source and not take that potential project on where there could be revenue involved. How much revenue? How much do they dedicate to it? How profitable is it? Or do they support the open source community? As of right now, they support the open source community. Having a rich ecosystem of projects and vendors that support the tool sets and languages that we enjoy is a very good thing. Is it a better thing than having one organization that makes all the tools and all the languages and all the libraries that you use? Right now, our belief is, yes, it's better to have many organizations that are building and contributing to the entire ecosystem. And I think you see that in the JavaScript ecosystem. You see that in other language and tooling ecosystems, and they're quite successful with that. So, PC Nerd asks, does Microsoft still give conference attendees a bunch of great goodies? I remember getting a couple over decades ago, and they would give away things like laptops or netbooks. They don't give away hardware like that, no. They'll give away t-shirts when you go to the event. That's what they've done the past few years. But they do not give away hardware anymore. Hey, McNets, hello. You've been contemplating going to Build next year? The goodies of old would make it easier to swallow. So third-party events like Dev Intersection, when you pay to attend a workshop, they'll give you an Xbox or a Surface tablet or whatever the tech gadget du jour is. So, it's the Microsoft thing that competes with Java, and it's bigger than that. You're right, RJ. It's the Microsoft thing that competes with Java, and it is so much more than that. Totally. And exactly. You aren't the only one, RJ. RJ says, I doubt I'm the only one. You aren't the only one. And that's some of the uncertainty that I hope to clear up with streams like this, where we have frank discussions talking about the tools, and then we're going to jump over to my Kubuntu machine, right? That's Ubuntu with KDE running, so that's all Linux, right? There is no Windows involved. There's no Microsoft touching this at all. I'm using VS Code, but there is no Microsoft Windows, and we're going to build and work with .NET over there. Java is like using C# with the difficulty setting on high. Harrison. Okay. Land of the Elite says having issues on GitHub is a good thing. It means people are using it, and if the maintainers take issues seriously, then it creates an excellent platform for them to prioritize and organize fixes. Yes. The ASP.NET repo has 3,000 some issues over there. How many issues have been closed over the last 3 months? Right? If there's a lot of issues that have been closed over the last 3 months, well, then who cares that there's 3,000 issues? Because if they're closing issues quickly, right? Then that's kind of a good thing, right? If they're not closing issues quickly,
It doesn't matter what you think.
yeah, it doesn't matter because they're just hanging out there. And that was actually a little bit of what some of the folks who were upset with Godot were saying, right? Oh gosh, they're not closing issues quickly enough. It's a small team that's building and running things. While the pull requests are not being accepted, it's a small team. Like, I get it, but it's a small team. Is it ASP.NET Core? Is that the repository? I think it is. Right? And if we take a look at issues, and I know I'm not on screen right now, and that's okay. They have, while there's 34,000 issues open, there's 31,000 that are closed. Right? And the first page of, what is it, 25 per page? Is so 25 closed in the last 5 days. Over the last 2 weeks, I'm in at 75 so far. Yeah. You're looking at about 80 issues that were closed over the last 2 weeks, right? And this is right as we're coming into to shipping time, right? So there's going to be more issues created as they're doing their final checks, and there's going to be more closed. So seeing that burn down rate, yeah, that's telling you that they're actively building, working on, and improving some things. .NET spans multiple languages, says Mac Dobig Hall. Hello, good to see you, Mac. So it's kind of hard to draw parallels. Yep. And I think that's the struggle that we also are having with .NET Aspire. There's nothing that's quite as complete a framework for building applications. Stop saying it that way. Forget I said that. There's nothing that's as complete a framework and set of tools for building systems, right? An application that connects to a database, an application that has a series of microservices out there that get connected to with a service bus and expose a front end that has multiple databases and storage systems that all get integrated and managed together with a concise and specified structure for logging and tracing with open telemetry, with resilience and service discovery built in. You get some of those things with some tools. You don't get all of those things with any tool except for .NET Aspire. And we'll talk more about that as we get into this. Land of the Lead, as someone who's taken 2 Java classes at university, C# should be way easier. I don't want to say it's easy because everyone struggles with different things, but C# should be way easier with more recent versions that hide the top-level statements too. What's wrong with top-level statements? What's wrong with top-level statements? Because we added the top-level statement feature for folks that were learning. Like, that was one of the reasons. Merge conflict management must be a full-time job. It quite literally is somebody's job, Jeremy. Yes. Quite amazing how it's grown, and as just a few minutes, it's so massive, and not just Windows, Microsoft. You're right, RJ. Yeah. No, and it's not just, right, what's amazing about .NET, in 2001, 2002, when it was initially released, .NET was built to be processor architecture independent. So that if you were on a 32-bit machine or you were on a 64-bit machine, it would build and optimize appropriately for the processor architecture that you needed. And as Sinclair Nader is going to testify in a chat message that I know he's typing right now, that architecture, 25 years later, is coming around and is supporting going from 64-bit to ARM. And that architecture that's been kind of dormant for the last 20 years because we've only supported 64-bit because everybody pretty much migrated to 64-bit, is coming back and is a benefit of the .NET ecosystem, that you do build things that are managed and the compiler knows how to optimize and handle properly for the different processors that you're on. And that's amazing to have that low-level management and architecture capabilities. So Mr. XQ says, doesn't that contradict the separation of concerns principle? Separation of concerns principle is something that's applied to a single class, not to an entire project. If that was the case for an entire project, we'd have individual projects that were individual interfaces. And that's a waste of time and space. So the question is, what is the concern? Can we, right, if we have a wide enough concern, we're building web applications. You can make that more granular, but if the concern has been decided we're building web applications, then it is properly separated, because we're building Windows applications, WPF repository is somewhere else. So it's the grain of that separation of concerns. Typically, though, you see that applied to individual classes. But I hear you. I do hear you. You're not entirely wrong. They decided to make that larger. Because if they did pop Blazor out as a separate repository from the rest of ASP.NET Core, then you'd have a separate repository for MVC, and a separate repository for Razor pages, and a separate repository for gRPC. And then it gets kind of crazy to manage all of those as one development stream. Tool says Avalonia is great, but their VS Code and VS support is near non-existent. I thought they just released features for that. Napalm cannot stand Entra ID and some of the design decisions they made. I can't speak towards them. They're not something that I work on. If you have an API that needs to support user-based clients and system-based clients, auth logic has to be different. Yes. JetBrains Writer has the best Avalonia support. Highly recommend that. Okay, cool. Is Maui a Microsoft product or is it an open source independent project? It's an open source project that Microsoft builds. I sold you going to Dev Intersection next year instead. Oh, cool. All right. I typically plan the sessions and schedule for the Microsoft teams there. Usually we have at least 10 sessions and 2 or 3 workshops that we present. The .NET team. All up, there's 70, 80 sessions at the entire event with 2 days of pre-conference workshops at Dev Intersection, and a day after, you'll see Dev Intersection typically held at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas or at the Walt Disney World Swan in Orlando. So one of those 2 locations are typically where it's hosted at. We'll see where it lands next year. Funneling training budget to employee kickbacks via free hardware gifts. It's if you go to an event and you get training, oh, by the way, and you get a laptop for it as part of that training, that's not a terrible thing, right? That just means that you've got someplace to practice what you've learned. You can use something like NeoVim and code in C#. Yes. In fact, I have a redemption that happened here from Chris Jones to have me code in Vim for 15 minutes. And we'll absolutely do that today, RJ. Yes. It's not just a bunch of VS Code plugins. Nope. But VS Code is a much, much better experience. Developers. 3,000 issues with high velocity is more important than the number of issues. Facts. Creep Tumor, new follower. Thank you so much for joining us. It must be a stressful time for developers to get everything finalized for .NET Conf. They've been doing this for a while. So it's less stress this year than last year. I'll tell you that. But they've been doing this for a while, and they know how their velocity should be slowing down as we're coming into the last month before the event. There's milestones. You saw a release candidate 2 milestone. The team is very, very good at managing their time and managing their velocity as they're coming into their release events. Palisar hasn't dipped a toe into Aspire yet, just stuck in the old way of doing microservices in separate repos, but I do love what it does out of the box. Cool. By hiding that noise at the top, I thought by top-level statements it meant the namespace class stuff. Yeah, you don't need to use namespaces and classes in the files that start your application, right? It's the entry point. So why have a class and a method that is always the same everywhere and it's a bunch of cruft that we can ignore? So, yeah. And here's the thing. It puts that stuff back in when you compile. So it's not required to use top-level statements, but it makes things cleaner, easier to see the entry start point. Robert Tables, hello! What's worse than merge conflict management? Managing your own conflicts? Oh, facts. Hey, PH Gaming Dev, welcome. Been gone from C# and ASP.NET for maybe a little too long. Time to get back. It's improved quite a bit since ASP.NET Core 3.1. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. 5-6 years later, come on back. The water's warm. There's going to be some great stuff here that you can do. Net Framework 4.8.1 supports ARM64. Yep. That architecture adjustment capabilities that was baked into the framework with the just-in-time compilation for years and years and years They just added another target, and bang, ARM64 supported. Yeah, that's right, Frank. Thank you for chiming in about C# and NeoVim. Most unnecessary thing that Sinclair Nader has done with IIS on Windows is successfully installing SharePoint and running it. Where'd it go? See, I've got too many sound effects here that I can't find it. You installed SharePoint on ARM64?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Really?
Shame.
If that makes you happy, all right. Hey, Richard, good to see you on YouTube. Azure B2C is fun as well. It is. I don't have a sharp site command. And I should. I was looking for the what? What? I have that what sound effect and I don't see it. And that, right, I've got too many darn sound effects here for me to go through. There's Totes My Goats. No, that's not it. No.
What's that?
It's SharePoint on ARM.
What's that?
Yeah, it is. So, I thought I had. Yeah, see, I need to give you control of these sound effects because more of that, so that you can chime in, friends. Because I've got too many, and I get lost here trying to find the ones that I want to play.
Oh my!
I know, but let me tell you,
You can do it!
that's quiet. That should have been louder. Darn it. Your current production workflow is using separate repos for each component, GitHub Actions per repo. Brain hasn't wrapped around doing this with .NET Aspire yet. The challenge is getting them all stitched together in one place so that .NET Aspire can run that all for you. We got about 2 minutes until the ads kick in here from the folks on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, no ads. So, help is what you're looking for, and it doesn't have all the things in it. So, let me head back over to... Where was I over here? I was doing a thing. I have no idea where we left off. Right? Like... let me... I have no idea where we left off. You found CI/CD video I did back in June. There you go. Okay. Twitch Turbo helps with no ads for sure. And yes, everybody loves taco. That wasn't a joke. Yeah, I think so. The suggestion that was shared was put some of the longer movie-inspired clips in as bits. So cheer for a certain number of bits, and you can play that movie quote, or that movie sound effect, that song sound effect. But some of the just plain simple sound effects, make them still available as commands there.
Legal in 9 countries.
It is. It's illegal in 9 countries. So, right, I'm wanted in 9 countries, I guess. That might be a thing?
Are these really the questions that I was called here to answer?
Yes.
Make it so.
They are. Okay, Surly Dev just found the toy box here and is going through it and trying all the things. Wait till he finds the channel points you can redeem. Since coming back, skills are intermediate, and I don't want to get trapped in tutorial hell. How should I code projects that are useful in learning? Like when I'm done coding, I created something useful that can be reused, repeated in the real world. What do you want to do? What kinds of things do you want to build and no, not in 1 hour. No. This is a long process. This is going to be many, many episodes. And we're having some great tech conversations to start things off here. But what kinds of things do you enjoy building and working on there, PH Gaming Dev? So, like, take a dive into .NET Aspire and build a little microservice to manage your collection of comic books, movie posters, whatever your collection is, and build a little service that will create the thumbnails for the pictures that go with those comic books or movie theater posters or whatever it might be that you collect, and stitch that all together with a website that's orchestrated and managed and has a little database next to it that might be MySQL or SQL Server or Postgres, and have those all run together. So yeah, you can do all those things with .NET Aspire, and we're going to be doing that in just a little bit here with SharpSite. Ads are running for the next minute 50. So folks are watching me in the little window in the corner here on Twitch, and they can't hear what I'm saying. That's okay. That's okay. So I will take just a little bit of time here before we get started and dive into the code. I accidentally hit my yeah, the starting soon. That's not right. Don't do that. Don't do that. What's in there? Oh god, no. No. What did I do? What did I do? Yeah, see, and I've even got some of these sound effects in multiple places here on the stream decks.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
There's a lot going on this side of the screen, right? Let's dive in. Let's get over to the Linux system. And folks will be joining us in about 45 seconds. There we are. We're running on Ubuntu Linux. This is a machine that was provided by the folks at kfocus.com. kfocus.com? You can run the kfocus command and chat there to learn more about the laptop that I'm using. This is their IR16. It's an i5 13000 series Intel chip, 64 gig of RAM. It's got 2 1 terabyte solid-state drives.
Crucero's just resubscribed for 37 months.
Thank you so much for the resub. Appreciate the support. There you go. And there's a link to more details about this laptop. They make fantastic laptops that are Linux first. That you can pick up. It's a fantastic small business that is building, assembling, and delivering hardware that's awesome for the Linux
resubscribed for 3
community.
months.
Thank you.
Whoop.
Thank you so much for that, Mac. Appreciate the... Oh my gosh, for 6 months in advance. Thank you so much for that. We're making donations to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. I got to get all the details put up in the just below the stream there. All right, let's dive in here, shall we? So, yeah, the ads are over there, completed on Twitch. So, on YouTube, is it Redwan? Can I use Aspire to deploy one or more apps to a VPS with a CI/CD setup? Yes. .NET Aspire is a developer tool. It's not a production tool. It's not a CI/CD tool. So, .NET Aspire helps you organize your code so that... Red 1. Got it. .NET Aspire helps you organize your code so that your deployment scripts have a consistent way to pick up and deploy things. There are a series of tools that are available that will help you with CI/CD, help generate GitHub Action scripts, Azure Pipeline scripts, to help you build and deploy to different locations, whether it's Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, all right? Or even Kubernetes. And that's a demo that I want to build and run here on stream at some point, is deploying to my Raspberry Pi Kubernetes cluster. I want to build that at some point, but we're having a little bit more fun building this. This is called SharpSite. This is my current pull request that we're working on. Hey, where's my... Hang on. Where's the keyboard cam here? Double check that the keyboard cam is working. Where is it? It's not here. And now I feel bad. Really? I don't see it. Ah, there it is. Come on. That's not bad. All right. All right. We can turn the keyboard cam on. Boom! There's the keyboard that I'm using. So that you can watch me typing.
0.0.
No, we've done more than that.
Mr.
Yeah, him. So let's talk a little bit more about this. You saw the link to the repository there. This is being built with .NET Aspire, and I've got this. This is the initial. Here's the post object that we're going to use to define and have just that first blog-like experience with the website. So let's take a look at this, see where we are, and get this running. So yeah, you need another tool to actually do the deployment. I forget if this actually works or not. So like, let's do the thing, right? It's in Sharp Site, app host, and this is the .NET Aspire entry point for this project. And this project right now just has a website and a database. So let's just launch that with a launch profile that's going to use HTTP. I don't want to use full HTTPS for this just yet. And I've already got a number of warnings about .NET 8 stuff. That's fine. So, did everything run properly? Okay, that looks good. So this is the .NET Aspire dashboard, where all those things come together. So you can see here, I have a website, right, that I call Web Front End down here that's listening on localhost 5020. There it is. But it's also got a couple containers up here. This one is Postgres. This one is pgadmin, the Postgres administrative UI. And then I have my Postgres database, right, is sitting here, and it's called SharpSite. Doesn't really have an endpoint, but that's the database that's hanging out there that I'm interacting with. And then I have a database migrations project out here that is updating the content of the database structure. Any seed data we want to deploy, we'll put inside that project, and I can very quickly jump through here, and we can see, here's my tables, and there's the post table that we're going to start working with here. I don't want to count rows. I'm going to view, and there's our first set of, right, our first structure for creating and storing database posts. It's right there. So we've got to start here. You want to contribute the workflow pipeline, but that's going to require some Azure environment variables. Help me out, Mythin. What do you want to do with that workflow? Right now, I see us building and creating some NuGet packages. We're going to get into building and creating Docker containers. Let's start here. Mythin. I hear you. I am thankful that you want to help out with that. Open an issue, and let's talk about it, and make sure that we set some appropriate bounds on what we're looking for that initial workflow, because I very much appreciate the offer to help out, and let's make sure that I supply you with the resources that you need to be a contributor to help out with that. You're right. It could get a little bit tricky with some of those environment variables, but I don't think we're deploying a running website somewhere yet. Added a .NET 9 version of the build action that runs the build and test, but it detects Aspire and wants to install that workload. So there's not a workload to install anymore. So yeah, let's open an issue and start that conversation so we can get you enabled. All right. A solution file in the main still has a reference to the API service. Does it? Oh, in main. Yes, because this hasn't been merged yet. You're right. So I have the initial post object here, and it does deploy an update and create the initial post object. We don't have a user interface to work with that yet. So central package management is going to be a good thing for us to put in. We need to have a create post page, edit post, but I think the post object here, I think I'm done this. I think I'm ready to merge this. So let's do that. Even though I don't have any unit tests or anything here yet, I think we're ready for this. Yeah, let's squash and merge. And this, right? Yeah. There we go. Right, that had all the things. I hope it had all the things. Right? Yeah. All right. So that squashed and merged. Go ahead and delete my local branch. So now I'll jump back over to main. I will pull upstream main. I don't have upstream. What? Did I not add? I didn't add upstream. Fine. Git remote add up, not update. It's like on autopilot here, kids. And we need to do Control-Shift-V, and it's got these extra characters on here that I am not fond of. There we go. Cool. And now my local, my private instance is up to date with the latest there. Yeah, heck, Radar can't get along with pgadmin. What do you mean by can't get along? You need pgadmin? It's a great tool, or it doesn't work for you? You'd prefer more there. Land Delete asks, for the Digmodify software on Linux, do you have the app image linked to the path or alias in bash RC, or do you have another method? No, I just have it sitting here, and I call it. My gosh, I forget what it's called. Yeah, base core. There it is. I don't have it, but right there's the app. Select a key in the keyboard above to start. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Right, so I can choose and jump in here and change the colors and whatnot of all the things on the keyboard here in front of me. So, but yeah, it's just an app image that I have laying down on disk. For everyone else that wants to contribute, take note it uses .NET 9, so you'll need VS Preview or .NET Preview installed. Yes. Not VS, you don't necessarily need VS Code, but Yeah. You prefer Data Grip or Azure Data Studio? I do like Azure Data Studio. I'm with you on that. It's a little bit weird to set up and use with it's a little bit weird to use with what's it called? With .NET Aspire. You have to force the port for Postgres so that you can connect into it. Don't get me wrong, love how to use it. You commented in this issue. Which one? Ah, over here. Okay. On push. Results in this error. Following workloads must be installed. Really? Huh. Well, that's definitely interesting. Unexpected. Which .NET is it? Is it using the .NET RC2? Right there. I bet it's. It says RC2 there. Yeah, but it shouldn't be asking for the workload. Let's take a look at the app host. Yeah. Oh, no, that's right. That's the right one there. .NET workload list. So, it's .NET Aspire RC1. It's .NET 9 RC2. So there's, yeah. Sonic Ozzo asks, how do you debug this code? Do you use a debugger? Visual Studio Code will debug and jump into it if we use it. I typically don't use a debugger, and I would prefer instead to do build some tests that execute. Debugger is a last resort. So yeah, let me know what you see there. But I mean, we can force the workload to be installed. That can be done, and I have it still sitting there from the previous version. I don't want to open Discord. Share an image of that and a link in the .NET Aspire channel of the .NET Evolution Discord and see what David Fowler says. He'll pick that up and look at it and see immediately and have some feedback on that. Yeah, .NET Aspire on the build machine. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can. Do I have? Yeah, I don't have Discord on this machine. I'm in on Linux now. It's a bit for me to jump back and forth. All right, I'm gonna have to jump back and forth. .NET Evolution is open. You might be able to find it on the .NET website. That's my Discord. Community. Come here, you. There we go. Discord.net development. And that'll take you into the .NET Evolution Discord. You don't need a workload with .NET 9. They've removed that requirement. So, but that link, so I went to .NET and I clicked on community up top. And it jumps me here, and you can find that link to the .NET development Discord right there in the middle. So, okay, let's start building the next feature. So I've already cleaned up and removed a bunch of the extra stuff on the website here. So while that's being tracked down, I'm going to start with this create post page. Users should be able to create a post on a web page. I'm just going to create a page that allows you to create a post with a text box and a title, and you press post, and it gets saved to the database. We'll make it more interesting and complex as we go along here. But just creating posts, right? This will evolve. .NET 8, yes, Frank. Yep, absolutely. That's a configuration that you need to have, and I have that set for Aspirify. That's all built and ready to go there. So, all right, I'm going to check out a new branch here, and this is going to be feature create post, right? So let's create a page to create a post. So we're building with, there we go, down here. We're building with Blazor, so I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to jump into pages, and let's create a new file, and I will call this, actually, yeah, I'll create an, yeah, sure. And let's call this, edit post razor. And we'll clear that out. This is a page, and it's going to answer. I keep forgetting. It needs to have a slash in front of this. Let's have it start with a P, and we're going to capture. I have. Now let's do post. I'm not going to do edit, but I am going to do slug like that. No. Okay. So we want some code down here, and yes. Holy smokes. We're already off and running here. Let's inject an I post repository. Yep. Sure, I'll call it post service. That's fine by me. What is all this? Goodbye. Let's, sharp side abstractions should probably be included as an import. Sharp side abstractions, right? That's something that we should just have everywhere. So there we go. That fixed the IntelliSense for those things. So get post, and it's possible that that won't return something, right? Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Here I was hoping I could get through. Right, yeah, PG post repository, that one. So when we get post, it's going to give me first or default, so it could return null. And that's fine. Right? Which means we can take this and we can, right? Go around this John, like so. And, yeah, that was the right suggestion. There we go. And a new post needs to have a slug, it needs to have a title, and it needs to have content. We don't know what those are yet because we still haven't built it. So let's do something like this. I don't have a slug yet. I don't. So I'm going to make it string empty. Sure, let's do content next. I want... Thank you. Right, equals string empty. Really? Like, I appreciate the suggestions here, but come on, man. And string empty. Okay. So I've got a post object that doesn't have anything defined just yet, and we'll load that stuff up. Let's see here. Tool asks, am I a big proponent of the split keyboard? I always thought they were a bit dorky. I'm getting better at it. There's accelerators and things here that I need to tune and make easier for me to remember and use. So, camera and the keyboard, nice. Thank you, Juan. I'm glad you like that. Am I using Entity Framework? I am. I've wrapped it with a repository object so that I can swap in implementations later. So, was it just the keyboard, or did I become generally more conscious about my posture? It was the keyboard. So. All right. So, we should probably put a title on this. Right. Yeah. Page title, thank you. And I can do it. Check on the slug. Right? If no string is null or empty, slug, yeah. Right? It can't be quotes like that. Text. new post. Right? And then we'll do this, and yep, thank you. And we'll do text, edit post, and we can probably say edit post. Nah, that's probably just fine. And I want that almost exact same logic for the H1 at the top of this page, except we want it to be an H1. So we'll just post that back in here. And we'll just change this to an H1. Scoot down here. And we'll make you an H1 also. Cool. I need a way to link to this so that I have a way to get started here. So, let's go to, what is it? No. Nav menu? Yeah, there we go. So there's the menu item. We'll paste that in here. And we'll make the href. Right, it's slash post. And I'm not going to put anything after that. And I'll just start with create post. Now, restart that. Really? You're not gonna... There it is. And... What? Slash post. No. Do I need something? It's... Does the keyboard make you a better developer? I hope you see some of the keystrokes that I'm doing. I've got accelerators to do copy-paste much, much faster. To do my navigation around much, much faster and in those primary locations where your fingers are residing. RAM 10, I started with an ergonomic mouse with a vertical grip a few years ago, which was a game changer. Then came a standing desk, then came the split keyboard, wouldn't look back. Okay. Yeah, Mythin, David Fowler and a couple of other folks watched that channel significantly. Is it a star I can put here? I think it's a star I can put there to say that it's not required. Which means that I can also put a I can put a question mark on that one. It will be non-null when initialize happens here, I promise. I promise. Go ahead, restart, reload the thing. Yeah. There it is. Really? Yee. The route parameter slug is invalid. Question mark marks the parameter as optional. That's my mistake. Okay. Well, if I had paid attention to what it was suggesting to me, I would have known that. Okay. I could probably tell the database not to restart every time, too. There we go. All right. You tried the split keyboard earlier this year. You liked it, but switched back because after I got used to it, I could not use my laptop anymore. Waris Dev, I'm running into the same thing. Switching from sitting here at my desktop using this keyboard to being on the laptop the jump back and forth is tricky. Put the laptop on a desktop stand and use your split keyboard as usual. So, Mumarov, I do that as well. The question is when you're traveling and you're at the coffee shop or you're at that other office that you might work at, or you're in a hotel and you don't have the keyboard with you. Now I cheat because I have a case for this keyboard and I take it with me. But yeah. It does get weird adjusting back and forth, no doubt. I'm with you there, Waris. Yeah. Oh, totally. Let's try and update. Let's try and use that new feature that lets us specify the persistence of the database. So we tell it not to restart. Right? This is a new feature in .NET Aspire. So here's our configuration for our system. And I wrote a method, add Postgres services, that has all the things in there that define how Postgres should start up. So I'll F12 over into here. Did you see how I did F12? I held down this accelerator key, and you see the colors of the keys change because I'm in my developer navigation mode, and F12 is the 0 up here, and it jumped right over to that. Right? So just an easy way for me to navigate around and do that. You're not wrong, Momarov. All the gear you want to use with the laptop. And don't get me started about using my VR headset with my laptop, because that's another bit of gear to bring around because I want the extra screens. Oh boy. So when the database server starts, there's a way to specify how long you want it running, and I forget what it is. It's a new feature. Here we go, with lifetime. Set the lifetime behavior. Yes, please. Right? I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't know. Let's learn. So I see lifetime. There's container lifetime. All right. All right. So, oops. Container lifetime. No, it's not singleton. Where did you get that from? Don't be a moron. No, not quick fix. I want persistent, so it doesn't constantly restart the database. I hope that works. Let's see what happens. I'm trying something new here. So this is a new feature that allows you to specify the database shouldn't restart each time that we rerun the application. So there it is. So Postgres admin is restarting. So when we say with pgadmin here, so there's configuration we can do for pgadmin here. Let's add some directions for that also. Thank you. So config, let's say with image tag. Let's make sure we get the latest on this. Yeah. That one. Okay. And can we also say config? Can we do the with lifetime? Yes. Yes. Look at that. Copilot learned from us. So let's see what happens with that now. So I'll restart, and that'll start up. Thank you. Yeah. Oh no. What have I done? Rerun that. Restart it. Got an answer from Fowler? Appreciate it. And he occasionally drops in here on stream, and always appreciate it when folks from the team stop by and they have some insight, or they learn some things from our experiences that we're going through here on stream. So there's the PG admin starting up, and it says not healthy state. It's PG admin takes a little bit to start up. It might be pulling the latest version. Yeah, it's getting started here. That's fine. Yeah, still starting. But that should be completed and available. There we go. And now I can get into PG admin. So our website works, and I can get over here, and we'll start building our first post here. Let me jump back to here. And let's see if we can get... Yes. Come on, keep giving me some more of that there, Copilot. You know what? I'm not even going to do anything more. I'm just going to save right there. I'm going to tell it to restart. And it shouldn't restart the database. Right? So... It did restart that. But it doesn't look like it restarted the database. Yeah, that's from 1050. That's from 3 minutes ago. That didn't change. Cool. So at least it's not restarting the database. The workload requirement is supposed to be gone at the next version, RC3. For now, a solution would be building every single project. Sounds more like a workaround. It is. Oh, 9.x. Ugh. Oh. Could it restart because of the addition of the latest tag? Oh, you might be onto something there. You might be onto something there. Let's go back over here. Yeah. Yeah. So let's yank that. No, that wasn't the key that I wanted. Here. Cool. Right, so save that. It's going to take 2 restarts to kick in. Right, because it's got to start once and get running. Right, this should still be 1050 was the restart time. Yeah. So that's starting. Let me see here. Build the individual projects, but we can't build the individual projects. You were in .NET Restore. Maybe run .NET Restore and .NET Build on the app host. Yeah, try running that on the app host. How much does my keyboard cost? Asked Toasty Sandwich. This is a premium keyboard. No argument about that. With the way this one is set up, with the keyboard switches in it, it's about 400 American. With the case and all the extras that they gave me, and this was supplied by the folks at Digma Lab to show off share, and try. I was already looking for another keyboard, so they reached out to me, and they graciously offered me to this, and there's information about my relationship with Digma just below on the Twitch stream. This was provided gratis to try out, show off, and share. I enjoy using it. I would not. I always give truthful reviews and honest reviews on products that I receive and ask to review. This is something that has taken some adjustment for me to get used to, because I've always used the standard QWERTY keyboard. That said, though, I do enjoy using it. It feels pretty cool. There's still some things that are kind of clunky for me to use. And you see the orange slash here? That's the Overwatch key. Because when I click it, this turns off. And this is all set up so that I can effectively use just this hand and my mouse to play Overwatch. And it's got my movement keys all set up here, my weapon keys set up top here. Jump, I put on both of these keys. My communication buttons are down here so that I can do the emotes and all that stuff. My push to talk keys are up in here, right? And there's other functions wired up to some of these other things. Shift so that I can, right, actually it's the A I have set up for any of the left shift interactions, right? Like boosting and what have you. I forget what I have this one set up with. It might be the same thing, just so it reaches to the same place. So that's my Overwatch key, and I press it again, and it comes back to regular typing. Either adjust the workflow with every project or put it on hold. The second option was a valid one with 9.0. We're thinking about building every... Okay. Yep, Sharp Sight's in the making, Robert Stefan. Yes, indeed. So we're moving along. We're getting somewhere. So we've got our first page out there. And I should be able to go back to new post here and refresh. And it didn't work. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. What? There we go. So I've got title, and I'm not a fan of how that looks, but let's just get it on the page right now. How do you flame someone in in-game chat? Check this out. So, right, regular controls. So then when I want to jump into chat and talk to somebody, right? I'm right. My mouse is here, right? Well, I press the button to pivot back to typing. Press enter with my thumb down here because my enter is on both of my thumbs. Start typing. Press that, and now I'm back into controls again. So I got you, Jackrabbit. I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's how I do it. And Junie's my partner in crime. We had an amazing run last night. Okay, we jumped in and we were playing Overwatch. We were playing the Junkenstein's Laboratory arcade model. And we went like 5 or 6, like 6-0 last night. Like, I found that they call them mutations, but they're bonus. They're bonuses to your various skills and weapons. I found a combination of them that just helped me mow over other teams. It was great. And Junie found a fantastic combination to go around at Mercy when she's playing the healer that just gives her the ability to heal the whole team and keep everybody alive. And we just rolled over people. And then the flaming occurred, Jackrabbit. Yes. It was great. Had so much fun with that. So we're quickly getting the first set of features here. So I've got a title box. No, I don't want Chrome. I don't use Chrome. I like to use Firefox. And I've had folks at Microsoft say you should really be using Edge to share and make sure that you're promoting and talking about the product. And chat, I use Firefox. And I'll bounce back and forth into Chrome and Edge occasionally because I want to be kind of honest and share that the things that I'm building work everywhere. And because Edge and Chrome are effectively the same browser, if it works in Firefox, the things we're building, it's probably going to work in those other browsers. That said, though, oh my gosh, I didn't install it here. What? Did you know you can install Edge on Linux? It's true. What? Do I have to type Edge browser or Microsoft Edge? Because they do like, wow, it's not... Really? I used to have Microsoft Edge installed on my Linux machine, but I don't see it. You want me to install a new version of Chrome? Don't think so. Internet. Web browsers. Look at all the web browsers. I'll install Edge another time, but we'll have it here. You have Edge on your iPhone? It's not... Yeah. So, Frank, what the folks from Kfocus have done is there is a list somewhere of Microsoft packages. They put that into the Discover app for me on my other machine. There's a way to do that, and I'll dig it up and document that somewhere. Firefox is much better tester. All right, so I wanted to see if that persistence, right, if that works. So let's go back in here, edit post. So let's create a text box for, no, down here. I don't need a slug, no. But I do need, right? No. Div. Yep, content. There we go. Let's start that. Right? Thank you. So I'll save that. Now, hot reload might actually kick in here. No. That's a little annoying. Yeah. So reload that. Nah, pgadmin isn't taking the persistence, but the database clearly is. Object reference not sent to an instance of an object. We should probably wait on loading the post. These fields. No, that's not it. If post is not null. Right? No! That's not it either. No. Why is it putting... I appreciate that VS Code wants to give me some code completion stuff, but it's getting a little aggressive on the things, you know what I'm saying? Sure, we'll have a save post button down there at the bottom. Yeah. It'll be something like that. But did that reload? Don't know. Because that doesn't look like... No. No. It's going to be annoying if I have to reload everything. I know, boo about pgadmin. Let me catch up. There's some good comments here in chat. Uh-oh. I got some build errors. Non-nullable post must have been... The name save post does not exist. Oh, right, I didn't create a method for that yet. Fine. Let's create a method for save post. Thank you. There is no slug helper yet. So for right now, we'll just do that. I'll do just add post for right now. Yeah. Well, that rebuilt because it actually got down into there. Yeah, look at that. Okay, we've got our basic create page done. Let me catch up with what's going on there in chat, because it's important to me to talk to you and get through some of the discussion here. Is it possible to run .NET Aspire without containers? Asks Ice Cream Stick Model. Yes. However, if you want to bring in a collection of other services that aren't currently installed on your machine, you can use it does that with containers. Now, you don't have to use Docker. You can also use Podman to bring those in, and there's an environment variable that you can set that will force .NET Aspire to use Podman instead of Docker. But to make it flexible, to make the .NET Aspire developer tools flexible.
Johab just resubscribed for 69 months.
Nice. Thank you, Johan. Really appreciate the resub, and I'll make a donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Thank you for the follow. But if you want to bring in external features, you're going to want external services. You're going to want Docker. You don't need it. You can point it to other existing services that are installed and running and say, oh, go use this Postgres database that's running over here, or go run with this SQL server that's running over there and make that connection information available. You can do that. I like containers and the ability to stop and start and move things around and have that same experience, right? The advantage of having containers is anybody who clones the SharpSite repository right now and you say start on the app host project, you get a Postgres container with pgadmin and the website running, and it will migrate and set up that database for you. And everybody who runs the SharpSite project gets the exact same experience. Doesn't matter if you're running Windows, Mac, or Linux. It doesn't matter if you have Postgres available somewhere on your network. It just works. That's right. That ice cream stick model, I think, is something that is envious of having a great developer tooling that for an open source project, everybody has at the same place, the same level, and they can work with. I think that's something really, really cool. Have I tried a new restart button from the dashboard? I haven't yet. That's my. There we go. Right. So there is. You can. Not that one. Right. So from pgadmin here, you can click restart, and it will restart the container for you. That's pretty cool. I can. Right. So we have the new post page over here. So if we go and add a new feature here, so let's go back over and let's try that. Right, I don't know. Let's here's some text somewhere that it's not supposed to be. Save that. Well, gosh, it didn't show up there, but I can restart the container. Right? It's off screen. I'm sorry. There we go. It's still off screen because things, right? So here, if I click on actions, why aren't you making restart available? It was right there. It's only got stop. Like, restart was there. Why'd that stop? You shouldn't have stopped. pgadmin start succeeded. Yeah? Okay. So if I click that, trust me, restart is down here at the bottom behind me. So web front end restart. Uh-oh. Really? It failed? Failed to delete web front end successfully before restart. No, didn't work. That says it's running, so if I stop... Nope, doesn't want to stop. Is it because I ran it with .NET Watch? I mean, we are in an RC, so some of these things are still updating. Yeah, that didn't work. So, I mean, that's some feedback to share with the team. Like, hey, this isn't working for me. Can somebody grab a clip of that? And we'll share that with our friends, David Fowler, Maddie Montequilla, and Damian Edwards. You saw them Tuesday. They hosted the .NET Aspire stand-up, and they talked about the release candidate. Have I tried the Fluent UI for Blazor? I haven't. That's on the agenda as a potential theme to be able to drop in here. I tried it with both containers. I tried it both with the application, but here's the PG admin container. Clicking stop and then clicking start. And it looks like it restarted properly. It's still starting. So, yeah, thank you, Frank. Is Damien in the Aspire team too? Damien works on a number of .NET things that are across various frameworks. .NET Aspire is one of those projects that he contributes to. Damien is very much, just like David, they're very much involved with many of the .NET projects. So, as leadership of the .NET team. So, okay. But when it comes to .NET Aspire, the program manager, the boss, who's in charge of everything for .NET Aspire and makes decisions about the features that go in and quality, that's Maddie Montequilla. A fantastic person to have leading that project. They're really lucky to have her helping out there. Hey, Kieran, you need to check out the Aspire talk about the new features. Yeah, they bounce around through a bunch of different things there. I created a new collection on aspirify.net. And I'm in the middle of getting this updated to .NET Aspire 9. Aspirify.net, this is a website that we built in part here live on stream. And I have added a collection here called .NET Aspire News and Docs. And as things become available for the new version of .NET Aspire, you'll find them in this collection. So as new videos, new articles, new code samples come online, I'll add them to this collection. So there's a link through to the documentation about the release candidate so that you can learn more about the new features. So I want to make sure that you can get there quickly and easily, and the link to the discussion from the community stand-up, I have that here as well, so you can watch it embedded right here on Aspirify, or click through to YouTube so you can save it for later and watch it on your TV or phone or your favorite YouTube device. So Aspirify.net continues to grow, and we're happy to build and add new things to it. I'm getting it updated to .NET Aspire 9. I don't know if I'll get it done today, but I'm trying to get it done and migrated and up there. So cool. Yeah. All right. There you go. Surly, thank you so much for the clip. Much appreciated. That makes it easier for me to share and show some of these experiences with folks. So, thank you so much. In fact, no, that different. I saw a message on Teams from David, different David. Sometimes Mr. Fowler likes to drop me messages in Teams while we're streaming. So, where was I? Yeah, so we're building out this simple UI. You love the Aspirify site. Only problem is that if you spell it slightly wrong, there's another site. Facts. So bookmark it. All right, where was I? So we need to be able to put together how to create slugs, right? Because this is a thing here. So let's go and define that business rule, right? Like, that's a thing. RSS next follow. What is that? What is that? Next generation information browser. Follow your favorite websites, blogs, social media accounts, podcasts, notifications in one place. This looks like what Tags app was meant to be. And I'm willing to bet they're doing scraping here. I'm willing to bet they're doing scraping. Oh, and they're building it with TypeScript too. Haha. They're not even doing scraping. They're just browsing. Yeah. Yeah, they're just browsing and reformatting the pages that you go to. Yeah. So that's that's a little bit of what it was trying to do, but there's other things that, yeah. Next month I'm going to be so heads down on my tag it's not even funny, and we're gonna have so much fun rolling that out for folks. Sorry, I didn't share the browser that I was looking at there. So follow. Come here. Let me turn off the keyboard cam. This is called Follow, and right, it's an app that gives you a way to view various articles, to view various interactions with different social media services. This is all built with TypeScript. This is an Electron app. So what they're doing, right, if we dig into, right, right, this is, it's an Electron app. It's building a web page. So what it's doing is it's navigating and capturing the content from those various sites behind the scenes, scraping them and reformatting them for you. Nothing wrong with that. That's fun, right? And look, it's bringing up, here's all the YouTube videos that you're interested in and putting them in one place. Okay. Same type thing that Tags app does. So, but Tags app doesn't look at what you're doing. Tags app looks at a hashtag and goes across that, across the various services. So, I'll turn the keyboard cam back on there. But it looks very cool. Yeah, my tag is a super secret project coming soon. Yeah. So I have talked to some folks about it, and I have gotten. I had my first conversation with some folks in Silicon Valley about it, and they're interested to see where I go with it. All right, where was I? So let's take post. I want to be able to define a slug. So, right, let's create a public static string. Yeah. So we're going to force it to lower. We're going to replace spaces with dashes and let's take this and say var slug equals, yeah, no, thank you. Let's URL encode the slug, yes. Thank you. That should do. That should do. Right? Yeah. I don't think I need much else on that. As a front-end guy, you love Electron, but at the same time, it uses so many resources. Facts. Facts. Electron uses a lot of resources. However, I do appreciate how fast it works, but I got you. Check this out, Kieran. Have you tried using a Maui hybrid application? You can you can take the same approach as you would with an Electron app, building your website and injecting it inside of this. And what Maui does is it's just a wrapper over the native browser on whatever operating system that you deploy to. So you deploy to Android, you get Chrome, right? It doesn't embed Chrome. It shells out and includes that Chrome shell inside the application. On Windows, it brings in Edge. On macOS, it brings in Safari. On iOS, it's mobile Safari. So you get this flexibility to build, and as the operating system keeps things up to date, it's still using the same browser that's there. You really want to check it out? I'm not going to pivot out to it today, but we have done demos on it in the past. We probably should at some point do another one and kind of stash it for another time. Yeah, web browsers are not performant for CPU in general. Is there any reason to limit the length of slugs? That's a great question. That is a great question, Blazor Mr. Magoo. I'm not familiar with Tori. Not familiar with Tori. Can you drop me a link in Discord about that? Put it on my list of notes. It's basically Electron made in Rust. You're still running into the same problem. Right, you've got to maintain that browser frame. And because Maui just includes the shell, whatever the shell is on that operating system, when the operating system updates the browser, you get updated as well. All right, that's it for today's coffee. Ooh. Okay. Would there be a reason to limit the length of the slug? Yeah, let's limit the slug to 100 characters. Right? Limit the slug to the first 100 characters. And there was also saying, hey, let's not make this the key. Let's put a GUID out there as the key. Actually, hang on. If the max length of the title is 200, we should make this... We don't... The title is max length 200, so we should probably write the slug. We don't need to do that. Right, the URL encode's going to add maybe a couple extra characters to it. So we can put a max length on this. I don't want 200, though. Max length... 300. Right, and the idea was we should also make the slug an index, not a key. And we should probably put a GUID over here. Because when we start to get into multi-tenant situations, that's going to be an issue. If you change your title, would you change the slug? No, I wouldn't change the slug if you change the title. You could run into a situation where you have multiple slugs because you renamed it and you don't want to drop. You don't want to drop SEO. Because I added some parameters in there, I'm going to need to add another migration. Right? So sharp sight, I need to get used to this key here under my right thumb is shift, so that as I'm typing with my left hand, I shift with my right thumb. Right? Where is it? See, I did it again there. Right? Data Postgres. Yes. Well, no, I want to be in the website for that. Right? Which is weird to be in the website. .NET EF migrations add max length for slug. That's not slug. Slug. Right? And I need to specify project is sharp sight. What? Oh, I moved my... Why you? There we go. Build started. Cool. So now next time I restart, it should apply that migration. Right? And actually... Did it? Did it do that? Because that'd be really cool if it went and applied it. There, it did it right there. So I applied. Okay, hang on. Let's talk about this for a second. I'm going to hide the keyboard cam. I should put a button here on the Stream Deck to do this. Look at what it did. So I have .NET Watch running. I created a migration, and .NET Watch picked up that there was a migration, applied it, inserted, and we're all set to go. It's all updated. Yeah, why not have a migration with spaces? So that's kind of cool. Right, so if I go back over here and into pgadmin, right, I should see that max length added to the table. Right, so let's just take a quick peek at that. Tables, yes, tables. Where's Robert? Right, columns. You're not going to show me the schema? It's under properties. Columns. Yeah, look at that. No, it didn't put the 300 on it. Why not? Is it in the migration history? It says it put max length for slug. Show me the migration. Wait. Did I put it in the wrong place? No, it's over here. Migrations. Max length for slug. Did I not? No, I put it on the post. I didn't put it on the PG post. I put it on the abstraction. I didn't put it on this one right here. That should be a max length of 200. Max length 300, so that they match. Let's go back over here. Okay. Yeah. We're going to do .NET EF migrations remove. Well, I want to go back one. No, just add another one. Just do it again. Right? Fine. Part 2. May result in a loss of data. Yeah, it might. It won't. No, stay on page. There's a refresh. Okay, so there it is. Max length for slug part 2. So if we come over here to posts and we do I want to do properties. There it is. Right? Columns. Hey, there we go. Helps if you apply it to the right thing. So I don't need to do .NET EF update, but I could do the EF update to roll it back and remove it. That's fine. No, doesn't matter to me. So, okay, that's working. All that's up to date. And now this page is out here, and it does its thing, and it's wonderful. Right, there it is. It's garbage at this point. We need more features around this. Create tests for everything, then get ML.NET to learn how to write code for Copilot until all the tests pass. I love that idea. How did I config so that it happens? I have and you can see this inside the repository, right? Refresh that. There is a migration service here that's running in the background. And when this starts up, it applies the database migrations. Right there. So when there's an update, it knows to go and apply it. So I'm working on the create host page. I'm assigning myself to this. I don't have a pull request to start just yet because I'm still building things. But I guess, right, if we just want to create like a kind of a stake in the ground of here's what I'm working on, right? Sure. I can add all of those things. Right? Yeah. First version of the page. Git push -u so that it tracks. Oh, man.
What'd you do?
I didn't get it to do the thing. No, I need to do Control-Shift-C. Thank you. Okay. So now if I go back over to the hub of all things Git, and this is for issue 4. Added page to create posts. There it goes. All right. So I've got that out there that I can iterate on. Must be most copied line ever. There's a way to set a default for that, and I have it set on my Windows machine. There's a configuration, global configuration you can set for that, and it'll automatically do it for you. Right. Git set default upstream. Yeah, that. Yes, I'm searching with Bing. Branch set upstream to git push u, but there's a config you can set for that. And I don't see it. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. Where is it? Go back to the Bing. Let's go to chat Bing.com because I just want to. Hi. What can you call me? This is going to be could be bad. Fritz. I have no idea. It's great to thanks. How do I configure Git on my workstation so that it automatically sets the upstream destination when I push a branch? I think you're right on that. That's it right there. Git config global push auto setup remote. So I'm just going to copy that, John, and paste it in here. I need to do Control-Shift-V because Linux. Yes, I know. There it goes. So now when I do a push, it'll automatically push that up for us. So. And it was push auto setup remote. Yeah. Yes, it does. Thank you, Copilot. No. I'm all set for now. You can grab a coffee and take some time to yourself. You don't need caffeine? Haha! Just some well-charged circuits and good company, which I've got right here. I'll be right here when you need me again. Enjoy your day. Thanks. Where'd my coffee go? I don't have any more coffee. All right, off to the water bottle then. Now she's just flexing. Oh, is it a she? I don't know. What font is Copilot using there? I don't know. I don't know. Why don't we F12 into this like a good web developer and take a look? And computed. Font family. Ginto, it says here. Ginto. bring that over. Still not over far enough. Ginto, Ginto. Apple color emoji, Sugoi UI emoji, Sugoi UI symbol, so on and so forth. But Ginto. Fritz Pilot, that's me. I'm going to rename the channel to Fritz Pilot so you know to go in here. Tailwind detected? Maybe. All right, ads are on for the next 2 minutes, but that's going to disable the pre-roll ads for everybody coming in for the next, how long? What the heck happened there? Teams just decided to restart itself. Like, gee, thanks. I need to double check. There's a meeting that I have coming up here. Just need to double check to make sure that I wrap up stream on time. This is 12:35. All right. We're good. Okay, here we go. Where was I? Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So I've got my upstream stuff. So I want to make this look a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like as default content, it's fine, right? And is it actually saving? Like, oh, that's post, edit, post. So this here, right? We want to say post dot, right, get slug. Post dot title. Yep, that's fine. And then add the post. Should work. Right? Possible null reference, fine. Then we'll fix that. We'll do one of these and say string dot empty. Right? And that clears that up. And this one here. I don't want to default it. I mean, I could. Right? I could very easily just say like that. That's not going to work because there's required fields in there. So if I do make this required, yeah. No, we don't like that either. But I'm okay with... No, let's do that. You don't like that either? Fine. And this one's going to say, oh, that might be a thing. No, it is. Alright, I think we took care of the nullables. Still don't have a publish date on this. Should probably add a publish date field. A publish date field. And just go ahead and do that for me, Copilot. Thank you. What don't we like here? Published date. Fine. Wrong one. It should have restarted. There it is. So it starts off at max date. Right? So if we are creating a new one, let's... Sure. Thank you for the follow, Nizaki Codes. Welcome. Theming support will come further down the line? Yes. And I think there's... something to be said about what we're using right now for each of these fields will probably get moved out into a component, and you'll be able to swap in components later. So, hey, Fovit. The first command's from the old bot. The first response is from the old bot. The second response is the one that you're looking for. This is the Digma Defy that I'm using here. Can you add the link to the project? Sure. I should put it in the GitHub down below. But this is Fritz and Friends. That's not how you spell friends. See, look at how awful I am now using this keyboard. Sharp site. There you go. We should put that into a command to make it easy to get to. Like, I have a project command, but I didn't set it. Where was I? So the publish date is kind of set there. So let's type a first post here. First post. This is my first post. I think it's really swell. All right, there we go. And save should have done something, but we don't have it set up to actually do anything. Did it write it to the database? I don't know. Nope, didn't write it to the database. So there's a problem. So it should have gotten... We don't have a slug. Nothing came in on that. Hello? Null ref check with the resub.
Subscribed for 8 months. Thanks, Sharp Fritz, for your knowledge and your entertaining personality. Tech needs more of you. You, Hanselman, and Jeff Geerling are the 3 wise men.
Wow, that is some elite company. Thank you so much. There was a reference to Hanselman made there, and Scott and I do work together. I had a phone call with him on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. We were talking through some work business, but he ran into a little bit of an issue. He's been trying to get his blog running. Yeah, him. He's been trying to get his blog running with ARM. Is Sinclair Nader out there? He's been trying to get it to rebuild and run with ARM, and he's run into a couple of issues. And we talked through it and got it worked out. And it was one of those things where he'd been migrating it from version to version to version from back in .NET Framework 3.5 back in the day. And as he's been migrating it forward, there were some artifacts that were lost along the way that the more recent versions of .NET and ASP.NET Core look for. And once we reestablished, some of those artifacts started working, but I'll leave it to him to blog about if he'd like to go further and share. But always fun to collaborate with somebody and help them with their project. The fact that it was Scott was sure. I've worked with Scott for so long that it's kind of, I mean, he has my phone number, I have his phone number, we call each other every now and again. Hey, how's it going? You know, hey, I just dropped, yeah, them. I dropped the kids off at school. How are you? Oh, great. You know, I'm going out hiking and camping this weekend. Oh, that's wonderful. Like, so. And Scott Hunter texts me every weekend and we talk about football. We talk about college football on Saturdays. Like two little girls. It's funny. So. But why isn't this saving? So add post should absolutely go through and add that post to the database, right? We wrote the add post method. It should be doing the thing. So convert the post, save changes, and return the post. That should be doing a thing there. All right, let's start simple. Did we actually get into here and actually add the post? Right? Like, right? Like, yeah. That should have rebuilt. Yep. First post. This is my first post. It's my first post. No, it's going to be... No. Did not call that. Well... Right? Sure, save post. And let's go all the way down to here. Restart the whole John, just to make sure. Scottish? Loading resources. Come on now. There they are. Okay. Notice I'm getting better at typing all that. Take a look. No, didn't try and save it. Did not run that. Why? One click, save post. Why is it not calling save post? It's right there. Developers. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. How's it going out there? I'm going to keep clicking this button until I go blue in the face. And then maybe I'm actually going to check the console log and see what's going on over here in this John. Because I did something stupid. Thank you for the follow. Schwink. Hello. Save changes after adding? No, didn't even get into it. You can always tell someone's from Philadelphia when they use the word John. That's right, Nullref check. We'll sprinkle a John here and there through this. Our friends Ellieface and Joystick Nick call me on that when I do it. Looking forward to a .NET user group meeting next week featuring the Scott Hanselman. Fantastic. Try something, Dev, with the sub. Bringing that prime. Appreciate it. I make donations for all of our subscriptions and cheers. We'll make a donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Thank you so much for that support. There you go. You get the purple hat showing folks that you subscribe to the channel. Much appreciate. Someone called you out on yins the other day. Those Pittsburghers. .NET Watch reload socket error. What? What? Clear that out. Reload this thing. Get over here first. Post. this is the first post. Narf. Okay. Nothing here. And nothing there. The plot thickens. What the heck? It's a button. It's got an on click. It should be calling save post.
Oh my.
I know. What the heck? Like, now I look like a fool. What, you can't get a button to click? What's the matter with you, Fritz?
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
That's the right hat. So there is an AI in chat that you can trigger to take a picture of my hat, and it will tell you what hat I'm wearing. And this is my Friday the 13th Camp Crystal Lake hat. Yes. Thinking here, why wouldn't that trigger? Like, this is... This is... I believe I'm in global server. That absolutely first question to ask here. No.
Corebob.
Corebob with the sub, bringing that prime. Thank you so much, Corebob, with the prime sub. And I'll make another donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation. The Raspberry Pi Foundation, they make the little Raspberry Pi computers. We all know about those. And we even donated 50 of them last year to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And they have a little computer lab now in their Family Resource Center where folks can sign out one of our Raspberry Pi computers and learn a little bit about computing and get books and things. We're making donations to the Raspberry Pi Foundation because they not only do they make those computers, but they also have training facilities out there, and they build training material for folks so that everybody can learn about programming. Thank you so much for that support. It's because this isn't a server-side render mode. I didn't turn that on this page. This should be interactive server. So we gotta wire that up. For those of you that aren't familiar with Blazor, developers, and it's okay. Where Rom? Wako, thank you for the follow. Nope, it's because this is not an interactive mode. Check this out. There are interactive modes to how your web application runs. So what happens here is you can turn on and off how and where your code runs. Schrodinger's King, thank you for the Prime sub. Love the Prime subs, right? Don't forget, if you're already subscribing to Amazon with Amazon Prime, so you get the free shipping and the free video and the free music, you get a Prime subscription that you can use here on Twitch. If you use that Twitch sub on my channel, costs you nothing, but I'll make a donation to the Raspberry Pi Foundation, and we'll support helping kids, helping folks learn about writing code, learn about technology at their coding dojo facilities that they have all over the world, and their websites that folks can download projects and materials and learn about. We do need interactivity. It's not a form. It's not a form. I could make it a server-side rendered form, but I'd rather not. Oh my gosh, Burn MTA with the sub. The hype train is incoming. 2 minutes to try and trigger a hype train. Dare I say I could even go to party mode if we have a hype train. We haven't had a hype train in months. It is a great foundation, a great organization. PG Gaming Dev, totally. So, Burn MTA, it wasn't the... it's... Right, watch. Let's dial this in now. There we go. Restarted. Content root path. Right? Go to the actual site now, Fritz, and do the thing. And we'll refresh that page. And yeah. Right? So let's do first post. This is my first post. Save. Unhandled error. This is good. We got something. Anonymous gifting Dr.
Cox 1911 a subscription. An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Dr._Cox 1911.
Thank you so much to our anonymous gifter. Dr. Cox has been here for a while. It's awesome that you gifted them.
Paulowski just resubscribed for 53
Many
months.
thanks. And M. Paulowski with the resub. 53 months with us. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Halloween emotes are out. There's, I think, 5 or 6 Halloween emotes that you can use there. The darn Skippy emote is a more candy emote. I gotta do. We haven't done this in a while. Can we do party mode? Can we do party mode? It would be amazing to do a little party mode here, right? That should be set up right. No. And the background. Yeah. There we go. It's party time because the hype train is live. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Let's write some code and auto-tune all the things. Thank you so much for the subs, the cheers. Yeah. You don't get this anywhere else. This type of excitement. I need to have lights go by on the screen to show that we're in party time and a raid and a hype train is live. All right. So I've got an unaccepted detailed errors. Nah, it should be written to the console. Check the console. Dang! I screwed up there. Buddha Jeeper. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Right? It's just going to get a little bit crazier in here. Holy smokes. What the heck did I do? An error occurred while saving the entity changes. See the inner. Can I write date time offset with the offset timestamp with timestamp? Only offset 0 UTC is supported. This is a thing. This is a known Postgres thing. We got to do something about this. This is a thing we can fix. Beat his 61. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I think we can get a little bit of help from Copilot over there. Midworld Dev, welcome in. Hello. Let me go to chat, Bing, com, and let's ask for some help on this. Because I know it knows it can find us the answer for this quickly. Because I know there's an answer out there. When saving content, that's not content. Content with a date time offset. When saving content to a Postgres database with the date time offset column using NPG. This is the library we're using. NPG squeal squeal. Jordan, just as I had an error, it's all your fault, Eric. It's all your fault. I get warnings about the offset. What is a converter that I can use to fix this? Here we go. I can use the Notatime plugin. Notatime provides better design types for date and time handling, avoiding the flaws. Saving a datetime offset, blah, 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 blah. Add with value. Instant from datetime offsets. Well, that's lame. No. I'm looking for a filter or something I can add to my Postgres entity framework context. Let's see what we get here. Did I add a reverb to the voice audio? You betcha I did. And the hype train is complete. Thank you so much. There we go. Thank you so much for the hype train. Appreciate the support. We'll go back and get the music playing again. The groovy music in the background. There it is. Thanks so much. Oh, yeah. Create a value converter. This is what I want. Yep. Apply. Wait, what? Date time offset converter V to V. That's weird. Has conversion date time offset. I think that's almost it. I think that's almost it. What? Something. No, we're good. But I can definitely add this. I did this somewhere else. You create an AI platform where you can make AI model with your GitHub repo. Okay. The repo's public. You're welcome to take a look at it. Let me head over to my Postgres context. Right. I think did I call it PG? But there it was. So let's add this somewhere down here. There's that. I don't know. Is that all it was? Yeah, I forgot some curly. That's. There we go. Forgot some curly braces. I need that one. Nope, that's the only one. Okay. And then it wanted me to add it to the DB context. Property datetime offset column has conversion. So, all right, I'll add that bit. So that'll go in here like this. So, and we called that PG post. And the datetime offset column was published. New datetime value converter, and it doesn't know what this is yet. Sure. Does that work? Like, what's the base there? Content from. Convert to. Okay, so should this be UTC? New datetime offset. Is that gonna work? Oops. Time span. Now, why doesn't it? What is V? V is a datetime offset. So can I just do V like that? I don't know if it actually rebuilt. Let's take a look, see. Why Postgres? Doesn't it support datetime with time zone? I don't know. I don't know. But got to deal with it. That's fine. Here we go. Close that one because it's open over here. Back over to this one. Boom. So we'll be able to watch this. Can I click save again? Nope. So let's create some content. First, post. This is my first post. Insert into posts. All right. What do we got? Oh. Yeah, leave the page. Yeah. Get me back into PG admin. Show me that table. Tables. Yeah, there we go. All right. So that is the correct daytime offset. Out here cooking. That's right. How you doing there, Code It Live? There's our friends from Progress Software. Hello. Welcome. Great to see you. Yeah. So it does have an offset, but for some reason it's only letting me insert the 0th offset. So when I bring that back, we should be able to convert it back to the local time zone. So, and quite frankly, when you save that post, we should route you to another page, probably a page that has a list of the current posts for right now, just to complete this issue, right? So after we save the post, we should route you, I'm going to route you back to the home page. So we're going to inject the navigation manager. Sure, we'll call it nav manager. That's fine by me. How's it going there? To our friends at Code It Live, make sure you check out the Code It Live channel. They're building things across a series of different topics, a series of different project types, not just web stuff, but they're doing native applications. They're doing mobile applications over there, and they're having good discussions with folks from around the community. So make sure you check them out. Can one of my mods shout out Code It Live? Por favor. Yeah, navigate to. I don't want to navigate to post. For right now, I want to navigate to the root. Just go back to the root. Probably want to do the same thing for down here. There we go. Done. Okay. Did we get a raid? I don't see that we got a raid. Okay, cool. Welcome in. I see a bunch of new folks joining us. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. So this is right, we're building just a simple website. Let's start outputting the posts then on the homepage. Right? So we created a new post. We're going to want it to appear over here. So we're going to make that homepage over here. Let's close that over there. I'm not even going to I'm going to change the page title to Sharp Site for right now until we're ready to actually give this, right, a little bit more content. No. I want to be over here. Get rid of all this. So on my homepage, I want to go get the latest posts, right? So we have a post repository over here that right now will just go get all the posts. Or get a specific post, go get all the posts. But I probably want to say go get posts with a specific condition so that we bring back a collection of posts to paint on the home screen. So... Oh, come on now, mods. Do I not have any mods hanging out here? Do we? Maybe we don't. I will do that. Shout out. Code It Live. There we go. Make sure you check them out. Give them a follow. You'll find some great content happening over there. Processing, no problem. Deagle? Thank you for the follow. So I want... don't worry about it, Junie. It's okay. So I want to inject my post repository. I'll call it post service. And I'm going to do code here and... Right? Yeah, posts. Yes. I like all of that. I like all of that. It's amazing. But it's not what I want. And why doesn't it like my get posts here? Because that's a list. I don't want a list. I want an enumerable. Thank you. And even this. I don't want to do get posts. I want to do get posts, and I'm going to pass in a where item there. That's right. Developers. Every time there's a new follower deagle, that comes up on my channel. So our friend Mr. Ballmer has said developers on this channel. Just like that, more than 20,000 times. Should we use datetime or datetime offset for database tables columns? Goku Jax, I'm a believer in using datetime offset. I'm a believer in using that when you want to declare a specific point in time. And for a published date, that is a specific point in time. That is a specific instance. However, there are also times where you don't want to use a time zone and you want to use a relative date and time. Dinner time is at 4 p.m. Okay? That's 4 p.m. in my time zone, which is different from 4 p.m. in European time zone. Some of our friends that are in Germany that are watching, it's actually closer to 6 p.m. for them right now. Server time could be different from your time. There's different things that happen there. So there's the time zone list time that sometimes we want to manage. There's also the instant in time that we want to manage. And when we want to manage an instant in time, I could have made that field a UTC time. I could have forced it and said UTC time, right? Named that field, published date UTC, and I don't have to pass in a time zone. I don't have to store it in the time zone because I've effectively, with Hungarian notation, declared that all the values in this column are UTC time. So, there you go. 1819 for the Dutch and German friends. There you go. And I probably, right, we're probably in 1819 for our friends in Stockholm, in Sweden. I know there's a couple of Finnish folks that like to watch. Yeah, we're probably in about the same time. I'm going to do a get post here, and I'm actually going to be able to qualify this because I can pass in. We created an overload for this, right? So we can pass in and say, give me a specific set of posts. You know what? And I can't do an order by on that. I didn't add an order by on this. You know what? For right now, I'm just going to do get post then, and we'll figure out order by later. So then we can do if, right? If there we go. Post is not null. I don't want an H1. Silvamord, welcome. Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow. I don't want a list group either. So, all right, we've got some posts. I don't even want a list group item. No. Here's what I'm going to do. Because I'm using Blazor. Right? I'm going to create a post. And I want to give it a... Yep, let's do something like this. And we'll figure out what that is in a little bit here. And... Right, we'll do some of this, and we'll wrap that up on the... That's on the for, that's on the if. Yeah. There we go. So Blazor has a very rich capability for us to declare components. So I'm going to create a component here called post that has the format for me that will output and lay things out appropriately there. Just store the date time as 5 p.m. It's accurate somewhere in the world. Hey, there you go. That's not bad. Microsoft calculator can't display tangent 10x. Okay, cool. Didn't know that. And gosh, and
Oh, you didn't know?
no, it doesn't do that. Right? That's a thing. So, and now you do. All right. So we need to define posts somewhere. So let's create a post component. I'll create a new component up here, and I will call it post dot razor. And at some point, we're going to create the ability to pass in and override formatting on these things. We're not there yet. I'm just going to do default formatting, but as we get more complex here, and we allow folks to start putting together theming and extensions, this will get more complex. But to get this running, before we start injecting complexity, let's just put out a default format for a post. Level 002 asks, this Blazor web app, is it WASM or server? Right now, we're making it server interactive with some server-side rendered capabilities. We'll look at doing some WebAssembly things in the future. But I think you're onto something there. Can we use return within the if statement or if else in Blazor? No, you're not returning. You're outputting content, right? When you're formatting content in a Razor, the Razor markup language like this, you're not so much returning as you're emitting content. And when we emit content, you're not returning, but you're just outputting things there. I could put an else here, right? If I wanted to explicitly call out that for it to do something else, and I could just, right? I could just put some content in here if I wanted to have, right, just a comment or something, or I could just leave it blank. But it's kind of unnecessary to do that, so I'm not going to include that, right? There should always be posts here. So, Nightmare says, nice keyboard. Thank you. Exclamation point keyboard will get you some information about this. This is a Digma Defy that I'm using. You'll use the code section when the page is small. Yes. Blazor Mr. Magoo is making a great point here. As this gets more complex, we're going to move some of the things that are in the code section here that are hiding down here at the bottom underneath my keyboard. We'll move some of that into classes, and it'll appear and behave a little bit like a code behind. Gosh, we shouldn't call this post. Yes, we are going to be confusing things there. So let's rename this to, I don't know, view post. So then over here, right? This becomes view post. No, not view post, post view. It's a post, and we're enabling view capabilities on it. Right? Where's rename that, John? There we go. All right. So we have some code on this that we need to write. Nope. We have an attribute that we're receiving, a parameter. No. Parameter. Thank you. That is going to be a, yep, item. That's right. So how do we want the post to look when it appears on the page? So let's start off simple. Let's just start off with an H2 for the post. Yes, thank you. We should also mark this, right? Yeah, editor required. So that also means I can mark this required, which means I can get rid of that. Which also means I can get rid of that. Now, I don't have a summary section just yet. Right? So let's just put an H3 under this. An H3, maybe an H4. Yeah, like that. Now, why don't you like... Can we do local date time? That's fine for now. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. And I should probably make the title a link. No. Come here. What's the... Is it control / Is that the thing? No. I was going to ask... No, where is it? I thought I had the chat up here. Yeah, chat. Make this block into a hyperlink to the post page. Doesn't know what a post page is yet, but so what? Fantastic. Apply that. Appreciate it. I don't think that's exactly the URL we want, but for right now, that's okay. Level 002 asks, since this is a Blazor server, when it comes to smartphones, would this have that dependency on SignalR, which would disconnect when the user tabs out of mobile? So the reconnect box appears and sometimes reconnect and some other times might not. It might, and Blazor Mr. Magoo is pointing out there the reconnection improvements in .NET 9 should help with that. And you are making a good case for maybe we should take that and make it interactive WebAssembly instead. Can you open that as an issue on, because that's a great discussion to have, can you open that as an issue on the project repository so that we can discuss and make that architecture decision as we move forward? That's a great thing for us to discuss. But I want to get this at least running and doing at least a thing here, right? I said save. Control S. Why aren't you... Okay. So... Oh no! I am out of time. Oh, rats. Oh, rats. Does not have a property matching the name item. Yes it does. It's right there. It's right there. Do a rebuild, and I need to wrap this up. What's the repo? Can somebody reshare? Come on now. I broke it. Broke it. Rats. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Git status. Let's commit these things for right now. And I'll just say work in progress. And that'll be available in my local version of the repository. But I need to wrap up. I have a meeting to get to. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Waris Dev. Appreciate that. I need to get that pinned into chat as we're working on this. Thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. Getting through, we have posts in our website being saved to the database, right? We have to work on getting them to update properly. I haven't finished that yet. And we're starting to work through getting them to present properly on the homepage to make sure that they load. This is an open source project. We're building and growing this. Check it out. There's a link in chat right over there, so you can jump right into the issues panel. It's a shared repository. Clone it, take a look at it, tinker with it. Send issues in if there's things that you'd like to be able to do, you want to talk further about, maybe you want to learn about as we're building this website system using Blazor, .NET 9, and .NET Aspire. All right, a lot of C# going on here as well. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back. I'm going to try and be back on Monday next week so we can talk more and build more about SharpSite as we grow this web application. All right? Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can get you connected to. And we will make things happen over there. I am going to join you over to... let me join you over to Jason Langsdorff, who's getting started about creating designs in React with Tailwind. All right. Fantastic. Until then, take a look at the code. I'll be hanging out in the Discord, responding to questions and helping folks if you want to build and you want to tinker with this a little bit. You want to start talking a little bit about what we could do with this and creating some issues so we can do some project planning. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, there's great videos and replays from my other streams. It's either down here or over there, depending on how you're watching. But if you're on Twitch, get ready to say hi to my friend Jason Langsdorff, and I will see you on Monday, all right? Have a great weekend. Until then, I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.